Happy September 1st, so happy fall, y'all. Okay, I know that like just because it's September 1st, it's not like a light switch, like instant change, like the weather's gonna get any better, but just let me have it that it's fall, okay? I know that's not really until September 21st, but I have made it through this whole horrible summer, and so I'm gonna have my moment, okay? Okay. So, what are we here to do today on this very gloomy, rainy, horrible lighting kind of day? We just have to play with Mother Nature by her rules. We are here to do our 2-month update to our Pan That palette. If you'll recall, we are panning Subculture, or what's left of it. I did depot mine, and I don't recommend you depotting your ABH palettes because they are quite difficult. Without any further rambling though, let me roll the clip for you of what this palette was looking like last time. Alright, are you ready for it? Here is what our palette is looking like after 2 months of usage. Let me try to bring it in there. I know the lighting is horrible. I think if I hold it here, you guys can get a good view of it. Appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about it. So Dawn here, I know that last month we talked about wanting to, I think, clear out the bottom half of it. You can see I got pretty close to clearing out this corner here. And then I have expanded the pan on this. The brush that I use, it's hard to get it into the corners of the pan and get an even application of product. So I think I'm going to switch focus and just start concentrating on the top of the pan. And then once it gets thin around all sides, I might have to repress it. I'm not a huge fan of repressing eyeshadows just because the pans tend to be like smaller and harder to work with. But if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. With Roxy here, I know last time you guys saw it, it just had the littlest speck of like baby pan. So you can see we have widened it. I do love Roxy as a like transition shade. My only issue with it is that it is darker on your like lids than it is in the pan, but it is still like just a pretty peachy pink color. And it was great for like summertime looks, and it's one of those really pretty shades that mixed with like some of the yellows and oranges in this palette, it's a really nice like fall-esque kind of color. We will come back to Electric, the empty pan. This is Opal from the Lorac Mega Pro 1. I know it's hard for the camera to register because it's like a white gold kind of shade, but I do think I have expanded the pan on that ever so slightly. Again, in case you missed the last month's update, Adorn is just one of those shades that's too dark for me and my taste. So I got rid of it and just replaced it with a different like lid shade to use up. So then this one is New Wave. Is the yellow New Wave? No. The yellow shade is Edge, if I'm not mistaken. So we have made a really nice dent in this shade. I've been trying to focus on this as like my go-to transition shade since it is the only shade in this palette that does not have pan. And I think if I'm not mistaken, in my original like introduction for this, that was like the original goal was just to hit pan in all of the shades. That doesn't mean as soon as that happens, like we're just going to chuck this palette and not, you know, just kind of like put it back in the drawer. Like I'm going to see this through at least until the beginning of December. So I'm excited to see like if I can finish off a shade now. I'm happy to know that, yes, I will have pan in every shade. And then we will talk about Edge. I think this one had pan on it last time that you guys saw it. Probably has expanded ever so slightly, but again, I haven't really been focusing that much on that one as my like transition shade. Hopefully this month now, more that it's like fall, like I'll be into like those colors, because this palette does just really, to me, scream like changing of the leaves. All Star here. I continue to use this as my outer V shade, so I don't know if the pan has expanded on it. I'm using such little product, but I really do love that shade as an outer V shade, especially paired with this Opal shade. Oh, it's just so pretty. So glad that I added Opal into this palette instead of Adorn. Fudge last time did not have pan on it, so you guys can see we have now hit pan on this, and the pan shape is kind of awkward. You can see it's got like that diagonal kind of like marking to it. So I did try to use this in my eyebrows a few times, and that's why that pan shape is kind of like at that slanted diagonal angle, because you know, the eyebrow brush. It's a little too warm and too chocolatey for my eyebrows. I didn't really enjoy it. I don't think I ever wore it like on camera, so I don't know if you guys saw it, but I did do it a few times like in my personal life, and it wasn't for me. So I've been using it again as an outer V shade, but it's just not like a good shade. Like it's patchy, it's hard to blend out. Like I just don't enjoy working with it. So quite honestly, since I've hit pan on it, like I'm fine. If I don't use any more of Fudge, then I'm fine. I still consider it a win because it was never a favorite shade and I did hit pan on it. At the end of the year, regardless of what's like the status of this palette, I think Fudge is just going to be one of those shades that I get rid of. And then I don't know, these last two shades, this is Mocha and Spice, both from the Lorac Mega Pro 4. Again, I've just been using them. I've just been kind of like enjoying my palette, not really trying to force pan out of it, if that makes sense. So I definitely think all of the pans that were here previously have been expanded, but it wasn't like a finish kind of mindset this month. And then our cream shade from Tarte, last month it had really big, like really sizable pan. It was hard to get the brush in there. So I did repress it and I hit pan on it again, but I just want you to see, hopefully you can see like the edges here. Even though we used a lot of product, there's still like a ton of product left. Like hopefully what you can be able to gather from that close-up shot is that even when I repressed it, like it still filled the pan. Like it wasn't just like a thin little layer of cream eyeshadow like I was expecting it to be. Okay, so then the last shade we will talk about is Electric. So like I said last month, Electric just gets hard pan super easily. It's a shade that I really like. Like I love that kind of like green gold grungy shade, and so I don't want to like get rid of it. Like it is a shade that I enjoy. I just don't enjoy the formula of it. So I crushed it up and put it into like this little container, thinking maybe that would be better to work with it as like a loose eyeshadow. If you're thinking about that, it honestly doesn't make it any better or worse. Like it's still the same amount of difficulty to work with, because it kind of, you'll see when I open this, it kind of like, it doesn't crunch up into like a fine powder. It kind of like has like balls to it almost, like it's kind of clumpy, like, but that's all that we have left of it in there. So I've been using this a lot. Like I've been doing a lot of the same look off camera, that way you guys aren't like seeing the same eyeshadow look all the time on camera. But off camera, this has been like my predominant lid shade, and so I've used up quite a lot of it. I think if I continue on that path this month, that I could have this shade gone by the end of September, which would be nice. Not because it's a bad color. Like again, like I said, I really love the color. It's just the formulation is really making me mad. So as soon as that one is out of here, I will just be happy. And I am toying with the idea of, as I finish off like Electric and as I finish off Opal, because Lorac shades, I don't have a problem finishing those off. They're very soft, and especially the shimmers. So if I were to finish off my two like lid shades that are in my palette, I am considering like adding in more lid shades just to kind of help keep it interesting. But yeah, that is it for an update. Thanks for putting up with the poor lighting. It's again very cloudy, so I hope you guys are having a good day or a good night or a good whatever, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.